How is it going, YouTube? So I promised an update to you after day one, and here I am. I'll basically set the stage for you. Like, the launch was at 6 p.m. for my time, and I stream like from noon to evening usually. So like the launch was not necessarily like fitting my stream schedule. So I started my stream about like 3 p.m. 3 hours to the launch, and then like we listen to some music, chat about the launch, and then like build up to the launch. Obviously, watch some videos on YouTube, um, and then the launch happened, right? Like I downloaded the game at like 6 p.m., and then I managed to like enter the game, let's say like 6:07 or something. Everything is beautiful. I reached the first town, and then I got stuck there for a good while, like 1.5 hours or something, I think. Wasn't able to like transition in between the main first town, so I'm like level 4, and then I couldn't get to like the side area, so that was pain and suffering. At one point, it actually let me through. So it did many others, I believe. And so maybe I should like look into the game and show you like what I'm talking about. So these map is like branches, okay? So like I feel like when you're loading into a zone, it kind of loads the entire branch or something, just because of like the problems that I had yesterday, okay? So for instance, like it managed to like let me through there, and then like the other loading screens are completely okay until like you go back to the council chambers, you know what I mean? When you decide to like go back to the council chambers, you were fucked. That's exactly what's happened. So like it let me through, for one more branch, and then I became like level 8 or whatever, and then I couldn't go back for like 2 more hours. It was around like 10 p.m. I think, like I said, all right, like this is wasting my time clearly, and I could like go ahead and like spend a little bit of time with the family. So I did that. I went to bed actually, and like I tried to get some sleep. I was thinking to myself, I'll wake up around like 5 a.m., like start the stream extremely early, very early morning. And then I woke up at 11:30, obviously, instead. Um, all right, maybe I should tell 11:30 what time. So like 2 hours after I went to bed, basically. So 11:30 at night, like the same night of the release. So yeah, what's happened is that like I came, the game was partially working, so it was like loading screens were crazy long, and I'm hoping they're going to be fixed today. But I've told to myself I'm gonna sit down here and finish the campaign, because if the problems are continuing tomorrow about like the scene transitions, um yeah, I don't want to go through that shit again. And monoliths, as you know, like they kind of like load in only one timeline, and after that it goes very smooth, like. So for a timeline, an entire timeline, yeah, you're kind of safe from the server problems when it comes to scene transitions and loading screens. So I finished the campaign. Well, I didn't finish the campaign, but I've gotten to the stage where I want to be. So I have like 15 passive points and 15, 8 out of 8 idle slots. My character is level 48. Um, Couple of notes about the game. The facelift of the game is absolutely insane. Like, especially lighting, right? Of the scenery, atmospheric upgrades when it updates, when it comes to like um how the shadows are, how the sound effects are fitting now. Like I know you're not gonna believe me, but play it for yourself, play the campaign, and it is ridiculously immersive. It's absolutely insane compared to before. Is it like the most immersive game that I played when it comes to ARPGs? I am not really sure. Campaign, when it comes to campaign and atmosphere, Diablo 4 was pretty up there too. But this one, it's very very interesting. Well, like the update was absolutely crazy when it comes to the facelift. The interface I really enjoy. The new interface look as well. There are like a couple of like updates when it comes to like tooltips of the items as well. They definitely look much brighter and special, let's say. Definitely. The gameplay is still crisp and very good, actually. Like there is, so for instance, there was no lag, right? I'm in hardcore, for instance. Like I'm playing hardcore. I didn't necessarily have lag issues, rubber banding issues. Like literally, actually, if you think about it, the launch is smooth, but you cannot play it because like you were not able to transition from one screen to the other, right? So like they had just one issue that they couldn't figure out for some time. I'm hoping that they're going to be figuring it out at the very least. So the thing is, in online mode, even before the launch, right? Um, the loading screens were kind of bad in comparison to like offline for sure. Like it was actually taking a while. So like it doesn't really surprise me that like, loading screens are even ramping up to be more. That's also why I kind of like force myself into into the monos. I want to show you something before I call this update, and I want to say like what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the day, and hopefully I'm not going to be dying. So I had another question in my mind after reading the patch notes, and the patch notes was saying like the bonus experience that you gain after level no, below level 50 from monoliths is removed or something. So I was thinking like we're clearly going to be getting less experience from the monos now, be below level 50, and I'm definitely entering below level 50. It's all right, like you still gain a level per echo or something, so it's definitely fine. You could enter the monos early if you would like to. If you missed my other talks about like what I'm going to do when it comes to like my faction selection, right? It's like I cannot select a faction before going to chapter 9 in campaign, and I didn't go there yet. Basically, I'm going to be running a dungeon, taking the exit from the dungeon at the end, and it kind of puts you to chapter 9. So like when it puts me to chapter 9, I'll go ahead and like pick my faction. So the question that you might be asking about my build, how did I decide my skills at the end of the day? We're level 48, as I said. I have decided to follow an order of like hammer, followed by a little bit of like holy aura right there, okay, secondary, and then third was going to be healing hands, because I was very curious how the healing hands is going to be, I don't know, like acting or something, performing, I suppose I should say. And then I turned back to like removing the hammers. So I had to like remove the holy aura from the secondary over here to like put my javelin, because I didn't want to remove the hammers and then put javelin, because there would be some sort of like a gap where I am very inefficient. So I removed my holy aura instead and put the javelin, leveled it up a little bit. I gained path of judgment. And then I gained judgment from level, 30 points into Paladin. I put the judgment instead of the hammers right there, and healing hands was always here. And then Holy comes back at like level 35 when you have a slot for it. Definitely, it's very very big. So the last ability that we're gonna put over here is going to be, as you know, volatile reversal, and I'll try to like play that way for a while. So we're sacking the Sigils of Hope from my old builds. That being said, how is healing hands? So the damage is a little bit kind of wonky. Sometimes it hits for like 2000 right now with this god awful gear and levels that I have. And sometimes it's just like 500 or something. The explosion radius, it's not that big, you see. Like you really need to like hone into the group and make sure your cursor is within the group. When it comes to travel time, and my questions about like this cast speed over here, it seems like this cast speed minus doesn't really work for you. It's okay, like there's no minus because like you're at traversal now. Another thing is that like the tags, it actually, even though it didn't say it's in the over here, like in Last Epoch tools, even though it's just says traversal, now it also gains movement. It is very interesting. Do you know what that means? You could go ahead and like take the Valiant Charge, and the cooldown is going to be all reduced from 6 seconds all the way down to like 4.2 seconds or something. It's pretty good. So I'm going to be playing with like 5 points into Valiant Charge when I can take a few more points out of my Juggernaut. Pretty sure about this. So 2 more points out of Juggernaut and probably 2 more points out of Juggernaut into Vitality at that point, and I'll try to like scale my health regeneration as high as possible in this character. We'll see. The charge effect, right, like this running effect of the healing hands, what I can tell you is that like it feels better than Shield Rush. It feels a little bit more responsive. However, it only goes up until your cursor and then it stops. So wherever you cast the charge of healing hands, let's say, wherever your cursor was, it will stop at that point. That being said, also like this is the bad part about ARPGs a little bit, like charging down or like south side of your screen, right? It's the worst thing. Obviously, it's the least amount of like distance traveled. And opposed to like going to the top left of your screen, it's actually going to be traveling pretty big time. So Grim Dawn fans would actually relate to this big time. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say for now. So I'm going to be jumping into stream now, and hope to see you there. And apart from that, I'll probably be like just spam monoliths. I'll try to stay alive because I'm playing hardcore, and try to take care of my gear a little bit more. And today I'll probably try to take myself to like level 85 or something. We'll see if I can. I will be probably trying to like progress a little bit faster than usual. Not really sure how that's going to be going. So thanks for watching. I'm going to catch you next time. See you, YouTube.